Recording in progress.
So today we are going to be having a very important session, which we believe is going to position any of you, anyone who is going to be listening to this particular session, whether for the first time or after a long time, when this is going to be recorded and people are going to watch this. It's going to be a wonderful session that will change our lives. Having said that, we have today someone who is going to lead us in the discussion. Let me explain to you one more time how the MOOC Camp works. We've sent to you a list. Immediately you get into the place where you're supposed to register, there is a link for the courses you're supposed to take. And we expected you to take time to actually go through those courses. These 5 weeks are meant to be for discussion purposes. But we have also agreed with the facilitators that they are going to be having their little presentation and thereafter going to take questions. AI has come as a disruptive technology in virtually every area of life. And I can tell you this for free, this is something that has come to stay. But the next thing is, how are you and I going to work with this AI? Imagine you seeing a car self-driving on the road. The first time I saw that, and the car was speeding. And I wonder, will this car wait at this junction? And the car waited. Of course, checked the, what do you call it, the traffic light, and then moved at the right time. This is unbelievable. So how are we going to make the best use of this? So this session is actually going to help you to get started, and that's the topic. So I encourage you, take every effort, make every effort to make sure that you are here throughout all the 5 weeks. It's just 2 hours per week. Look for excuses to be here. So without wasting too much of our time, I'll call Josephine to please introduce Mr. Oyinlola Solomon Oluwatobi to us, and thereafter, Mr. Oyinlola will take over. Thank you very much. All right.
Good afternoon once again, everybody. So today we have Mr. Oyinlola Solomon. He's a data scientist with a background in civil engineering and ongoing studies in statistics. Certified in various areas of data science, Solomon combines technical expertise with a passion for meaningful solutions that data brings. Currently working with Omdena to create AI solution. Mr. Oyinlola, you are welcome to the MOOC Camp, the first one in the year 2024. Please, let's give him a round of applause.
So Oyinlola, over to you.
Yeah. Can you
Hello, we can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Oyinlola. I think probably you need to log out and then log in again because your line is not going through. We're not hearing you. So while we're waiting, I want to encourage all of us to please open our register and let everyone that comes in sign that register. Sign the register. Mr. Oyinlola, as soon as you are able to get
Can you hear
through,
me now?
please. Yes, we can hear you now. But if you can speak
All right.
a little bit louder, that would be great.
Okay, so thank you very much for this humble invitation to speak on generative artificial intelligence. As has been rightly introduced, I am Olaoluwa, and I'm a data scientist. I want to believe that I have people from different walks of life, probably people who have started the journey of artificial intelligence, and some persons who are looking forward to picking a career in artificial intelligence. So I promise to make sure I come from scratch, bring it home, and to make it look as if it's something that's at the tip of our hand. But the first thing I would like to say is this. We're in a global village. By global village, what I mean is this. We are in an era where I don't have to be abroad to talk to anybody physically. Just like I and you are discussing, I know some persons are from Kano, some are from Idowu, some are from Uyo. That is what global village has given to us. And that's what technology has given to us. And that is what AI has given to us. So briefly today, I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence, what it all entails. Then I'll now particularly talk about generative artificial intelligence. Let me display my screen so that we can just commence. Okay. Just give me a minute. So I'll be talking about the importance. Firstly, let's start with the importance and the relevance of artificial intelligence in today's world. Let's start with the history. Long time ago, we used to have this little hard disk and memory cards, so big to an extent that those big men, those cream of the society of those days, they usually transport this hard disk via airplanes. That is how much these things are very big. For you to know how heavy they were. Until technology started advancing, AI came into play, and then we started having what we call ICs, integrated sections. And via the use of AI, a lot of things that we'll discuss today have become very, very easy. Funny enough, if there are people amongst us here who are business owners, I can tell you that the knowledge of AI can skyrocket your business. There are very many things that you might not really have to do that you think that you have to do with manpower, but AI has made it easy. Secondly, I'll be discussing the main agenda of today, which is generative AI. Now let's come to the importance of artificial intelligence. Firstly, artificial intelligence is a broad topic. Under artificial intelligence, we have sections like machine learning. Machine learning itself is under data science. Still under AI, we have the sections of what we call the robotics. Recently, it is very common that most people are going into the data science aspect of AI, although it's the best aspect to go into first before you come and say, okay, we want to start going into robotics engineering. But before we go deep into this, let's first talk about artificial intelligence. The way I like to do discussions is this. Look at that word artificial intelligence. Don't go too far. If you break the word artificial intelligence, that phrase, the phrase artificial intelligence, if you divide it into two, you would have artificial and intelligence. By default, in biology, we were told that the human brain has more than 1 million neurons in the human brain. If there are biologists amongst us, you can attest to that and do your research. We have more than 1 million neurons in the human brain. And what you would ask yourself is this: how do these neurons interact? How do these neurons get to react when they face challenges? How do these neurons react and act? How do human beings act? The way human beings act is as a result of the communication between different neurons in the human brain. So you can call that human intelligence. The ability of a child who probably is going to school, in high school, and wants to go to the university, being able to learn new things, the ability of an individual seeing an apple and being able to identify that this is a red apple, this is a green apple. We call that human intelligence. You're being able to identify several things. For example, you're in your room and then you heard the sounds of something. Let me not be specific now. How is it that a human being can hear the sound of another human being's leg and be able to decode that that is not the sound of an elephant? That is the sound of a human being. It's due to the interconnections of neurons in the human brain. How is it that a human being can see normal English written language and be able to see languages that machine writes, and you can know that this machine language cannot be read by a human being, but this English can be read by a human being? It is due to the communication between the neurons in human beings. So the interconnections of these neurons is what makes human beings be able to interpret things. So that is what artificial intelligence has borrowed from human beings. I think when artificial intelligence started becoming limelight, most people started becoming scared. And the talk of the town was that AI was going to their job. But the truth is this: I will let us know more reasons why AI will never take your job today. AI will never take your job. And I'll tell you what makes you very superior to AI as we go on in this discussion. So you have now known what is called human intelligence. Now, how has the phrase artificial intelligence now come about? So artificial intelligence actually borrowed that interconnection of several neurons. There's something we call perceptron. It is spelled Perceptron. Perceptron is the smallest neuron in the human brain. Smallest neuron in the human brain. So artificial intelligence experts, or you can say machine learning intelligence experts or robotic experts, actually use several neurons. We can have what we call input neurons. I will show us these things in the graph. I just want to give us a brief of what we are going through. We have several neurons that are connecting to let you know. Let me surprise you. Don't be surprised that if you take a robot to a junction, where towards the left, we have a river, a very river. And towards the right, you have a good road. Don't be surprised that an artificial intelligence robot can be able to decipher and not pass that river, but pass the road. But don't forget, that is an attribute of a human being. Of recent, there is an artificial intelligence robot called Sophia that was interviewed. Somebody was interviewing Sophia, pressing Sophia a question that by default, a human being to be the one to be able to answer. But Sophia answered the question. Okay, let me even tell you the question. The person asked Sophia and said, Sophia, the way you are looking at me, are you interested in me? Are you interested in dating me? And Sophia was like, no, I am not interested in that. So the main point there is this. You're going to tell me that doesn't mean they think like human beings. No, AI systems don't think. AI systems are not emotional beings. They are not emotional. So let's move further. I just wanted to do a brief of what it is about. So let's now talk about what artificial intelligence is. So artificial intelligence is also a very big thing. Under artificial intelligence, we have what we call data science. And under data science, we have what we call machine learning. And then some people now decide to say they want to go into data analytics and all of that. Firstly, let me tell you what these things are. At the end of the day, I can advise you on what to learn, how to learn it, when to start, how to start, and how you should scale to being an expert in this field. There is nothing that is difficult. Don't let people tell you that AI is hard. The secret behind complex things starts from the foundation. You just start from the foundation. Calm down and start from the foundation. That's the secret to complex things. So, since I have told you that artificial intelligence encompasses machine learning in data science, then machine learning inside data science, they will now have several sections of machine learning. Let's now start discussing what we call data science. I'm going to use an average company to explain to you how data science is. I think the best way to interact with people is to tell them stories. Let me use a company like Bloomberg, for example. If you see a standard company that has a data team, this is how their data team is meant to work. Number one, there should be somebody who is called a data engineer. All these fields I'm mentioning now, they are under artificial intelligence. There should be somebody who is called a data engineer. The data engineer's work is meant to create pipelines, create raw data, and then create a very good integrated pipelines that will make this data to flow in the right process. When the data engineer is done, that raw data is meant to go into the hand of a good data analyst. I know why I say a good data analyst, okay? A lot of people are putting themselves in the social media platform these days and say they are this, they are that. It doesn't work that way. You need to learn what you know before you come and say you do this way. That's why you need to take your time. That's why you need to make sure you're available for all of the sessions in this your MOOC camp. It's very, very important. I'll share stories with you of how I started, what I went through, and how I was able to go through to these points. The story will help you and motivate you. So when the data goes to the hands of a data analyst, what the data analyst is meant to do is to analyze the data. When you analyze the data, you create what we call insights. Insights are meant to be informative to even somebody who does not understand data or artificial intelligence at all. When the data analyst is done with the data analytics, the next thing is you take the insights you have gotten, you give it to a data scientist. When a data scientist gets the insights, what the data scientist now does is to look at the data, do further analysis. That is why data scientist, you need to be a good analyst also. A data scientist now does further analysis, do machine learning algorithms. You need to do machine learning algorithms. I'll also discuss with us machine learning. You build several machine learning algorithms that can be able to make predictions into the future. When you build machine learning algorithms, this algorithm that you have built is now meant to go into the hands. By the time you have built these algorithms, you're meant to make forecasts. You're meant to make predictions. All these predictions and everything is meant to go into the hand of what we call a business analyst. So it is a business analyst in that company that now looks at the data, and then the next thing is the business analyst will ensure that he or she turns that analyzed data into a particular data that can bring money to the company. The end goal of AI, or as a data scientist or a data analyst, is to ensure that a firm can actually make money with what you have done. That's the end goal of everything. If you're analyzing data, you're building solutions. For example, let me give you a real life scenario. There's a company in Enugu. There's a company in Enugu, and they have been doing their stores in a non-digitalized way. And when one of the staff in the company reached out and told me that the way her father, it was actually the daughter to the owner of the company that reached out. The way her father runs the company is that what they give to clients for many years is receipts. Receipts in form of paper. Ha. That was very dangerous. In this tech world, it's very dangerous. What it means. When I was having a meeting with them, what I told them is this: the consequences are very great. Number one, if rain falls and it enters that company, the company will never have a database of their customers. Number two, without asking the company, I was able to know that definitely they cannot be sending information to their customers. Why? Because they don't have the details of their customers. They only give their customers receipt and all of that. They're in a digitalized age. So they don't have data, don't have details of their data. If you don't have the data of your customers, just know that you cannot sustain your company in the competition of today. That's why artificial intelligence is very important. And so what I did for them was to create a good database for them, host their company in the cloud, and then even if the CEO of the company is anywhere in the world, none of the staff can be able to rob him of his money, because all he needs to do is to click on a button and it will give him the total amount of what was made in that day, and give him a database that will show him everything that was sold, and also generate an automatic receipts for everybody. And then the data of everybody that buys anything from that company is automatic database. That is what AI does. Now, moving into data science, what are the steps? What are the things that a data scientist needs to learn? Number one, as a data scientist, I tell people to be a good data scientist. I've told you that, okay, let me tell you what a data scientist will definitely do. I've used a clean setting. You'll be building algorithms, okay? And as a data scientist, expected to be very good with Microsoft Excel. Don't be surprised. Many people, when they ask me and say, Toby, why should I learn Excel as a data analyst or a data scientist? I used to tell them, see, the way I do my things, I don't like to jump. If you jump, you will jump out of the business, you jump out of the work. There are a lot of people in the labor market, and only those who are very good will stay inside it. So if you're learning anything, calm down. You have to learn Microsoft Excel. Sometimes I build applications without using programming languages. What I use is Excel VBA. There is something in Excel that we call VA. It is used in building applications. You don't have to always use coding every time. Most times when you have Microsoft Excel, you will not see that that Excel VA by default. The way to see it is you need to go to your developer tab. You have to put your developer tab, and then you need to make sure that there's a tab that is called macros that will come up in your Excel. And then you need to now learn how to use Excel VBA. By that way, you can create applications also. So you need to learn Microsoft Excel very well. When you are done with Microsoft Excel, you need to learn how to use what we call SQL databases. SQL is called Structured Query Language. When you're done with learning SQL databases, there are several databases. SQL is a programming language. We call it procedural programming language. Some persons don't classify it as programming language, but what I do for them is this. I help them to classify several types of programming language and tell them the section under which SQL is kept. SQL is a programming language, but it is a procedural programming language. What we use SQL for is to create databases. It is very important. I actually worked with a company. The name of the company is Sky Aviation Handling Company. It's in Nigeria, Lagos to be precise. When I was working with them, my manager, the manager has some issues. And the issue is that they have several departments in the company. And then because they have several departments in the company, their data is not organized. See, I'm giving you real life scenario because it is what most companies are facing today. Their data is in several places and is not well kept. So what I had to do for them was to ensure that we have different databases for different departments in the company. So that if my boss, if my manager, or if my CEO comes to me and say, Toby, give me the details of the first 10 staff in this company whose salary is greater than 10,000. There is a way to use SQL to do that ASAP. So we have several databases of SQL. We have what we call the PostgreSQL database. We have what we call Microsoft SQL database. We also have what we call the MySQL workbench. You need to be wise. So let me tell you, in artificial intelligence, in learning these things, you need to be wise. You need to make enough research. When people reach out to me and say, Toby, how do I start? What I tell them is this: you need to make enough research about the field you are going into. It is not all these databases you will learn. Okay, I will advise you, if you're starting, first thing to learn is what we call PostgreSQL database. The reason is because you're a starter. If you can know PostgreSQL database very well, the next thing you ask yourself is, what kind of company do you want to work? If you're looking forward to working with a company like Microsoft, you should learn what we call MySQL, Microsoft SQL database. Because there are certain companies you will work and they have their technologies. And funny thing about SQL is there are some SQL languages okay, there's what we call ANSI language. It's a standard SQL language that you can write on every SQL database. But there are also some codes of SQL that you cannot write on every database. That's why I advise people, when you learn PostgreSQL, the next thing is, what kind of company do you want to work? You know that you want to work in Google. There are technologies that you have to know. You need to understand how to use cloud applications. And the cloud applications, if you're looking forward to work in Microsoft, you cannot go and be learning some cloud applications. You need to know Microsoft Azure and some other things. So when you have learned SQL database, the next thing to learn is what we call the NoSQL database. And that's a very, very important. Let me tell you a story. I remember when I was in a session with a lecturer. So he was addressing the class and he was talking about a project. He said something about students going to go and get data of a state and analyzing the data. And then he told them to gather the data using questionnaire. That's what some companies do, and some hacky people, that's what they do. And then when he said they should use questionnaire, I said that's awesome because it's not bad to do. But the question is, the man expects that when people generate questionnaire from customers, they sit down and start entering the data one by one. What is that? We are in an age of technology. We are not in an age where you gather data from 2 million people, 2 million respondents. Respondent is a statistical term. These are the people that you collect things from. You collect 2 million data from respondents, and you're expecting that people will sit down and be entering it. No, nobody might say, sir, that might not be needed. That's what we call NoSQL databases. NoSQL databases are used for analyzing data that is not in tabular format. For example, if you have video data, we can analyze it with NoSQL database. If you have image data, it can be analyzed with NoSQL database. We had to use it, and it was like, wow. So I introduced it to him, and he was happy. So that's what it can do. We have several NoSQL databases. We have the most popular one, Oracle DB. We have Hive, we have Spark. So moving from that, when you have learned SQL, the next thing to go and is try and know these visualization tools, like either Power BI or Tableau. I would advise you, if you want to work in a Microsoft company or a Microsoft affiliate company, know Power BI. If you are ready to learn anything, like something that will put you in any company at any point in time, learn Tableau. Once you're done with Power BI, the next thing is learn Python as a programmer. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Most people that want to start data science, what they will tell you is, I want to learn Python as a data scientist. As a data scientist, you are expected to have knowledge of a software engineer. Let me give you an instance. Somebody was talking to me yesterday on a job. And this is what the job is about. They want to build an health application that can be able to predict the stress levels of new patients in an hospital. You know, let me tell you something. The most diseases that are rampant in many hospitals is due to stress. Even blood pressure is due to stress. Diabetes most times is due to stress. So they want to use Apple iWatch's metrics data to be able to detect stress levels of patients in an hospital. Now, what the client is expected of me is to give him a web application that can predict such that when you have a patient in an hospital coming to the doctor can simply get the option, put the details of the patient, click on a button, and the application will tell you that this patient has this particular stress level, this patient doesn't have stress level. And the application will tell you that, oh, this is what you should do with these patients. There is no way you can build that kind of application or build a machine learning algorithm if you are just a normal data scientist who have learned Python for data science. So that's why people learn Python as a programmer. These are not hard, okay? You need to calm down, start from normal Python fundamentals, go to your normal Python classes and everything and all of that. And go to your normal Python classes and all of that. When you are done with learning Python as a programmer, you have learned Python as a programmer. You know why? There's what we call model deployment. Model deployment is the penultimate section in any data science project you're doing. The reason is because you cannot expect that, okay, let me give you a real life project scenario now, a real life project scenario. I built one other project. That project, what the project does is that it can help investors invest in stock market accurately without making mistake and losing their money. It's called time series projects, okay? Imagine that I have a project from a client to build in a stock predictor, something that can invest for him to be able to invest into the stock markets. If I'm done and I just present normal charts to these clients, the client cannot use my normal chart for everyday stock. Maybe it's an Amazon stock, or it is maybe it is Tesla stock. Let's say it is Bloomberg stock. What the client is expecting is an application. We call it a deployed model. A model that has been deployed, and you can easily see in a web format, or we call it a graphical interface format. And the person can be able to click on this and then put the details of the stock. The person can click it and then know that, okay, I should invest in this stock. I should not invest in this stock. That's what machine learning can do for you. I will not lie to you. Artificial intelligence is the future. It is the future. I'm telling you the gospel truth. And that is why I took a step long time ago. The first thing that I learned was I learned graphic design. After graphic design, I moved to web development, and I went into the field of AI. That's about a while now. And since then, I can tell you that the future of AI is very awesome. In fact, not just to you alone. I think when you get home, you need to even help your younger ones, your kids. You need to help the children that you have given birth to, or that you are giving birth to. You need to make them start now. You need to make them start coding right now. There are some languages that younger kids can actually learn. Okay, let me not talk too much. Let's now move into machine learning. Now, under machine learning in data science, don't forget what I said. Let me recap a bit. I said artificial intelligence is a big scope. Under artificial intelligence, we have data science. Under data science, we have machine learning. And under machine learning, we have several sections of machine learning. And under machine learning, we now have some other sections. And then a little deviated, we now have data analysis and all of those. Okay. Now, coming to machine learning. Under machine learning, we have what we call regression, or let me just say we have a supervised machine learning. We have unsupervised machine learning. Then we now have some particular sections of machine learning that we call natural language processing, where generative AI. That's NLP is like, we can say it is a subsection of generative AI. Then we have what we call deep learning algorithms. Let me recommend something to you. Before I go further, something I also was supposed to mention that you should learn, which is not a programming language, it is statistics. I've been into several occasions where I and some persons have to do certain jobs. And I have noticed that most people know programming language, most data scientists know programming language, but they don't know statistics. If you don't know statistics, you can't be a good data scientist. You can't be a good machine learning engineer. Take it or leave it. The probability that you cannot be a good data scientist is 1. When I tell you the probability of something is 1, it means that it cannot happen. Let me give you a real life scenario now with mathematics. If I wake up in the morning and I go to a well and I see a man called Mr. James, and I ask a question, Mr. James, what is the probability that he will give birth to a baby on Sunday because he has a big stomach? Mr. James, if he's a good mathematician, he will tell me that the probability is 0 because he's a man. When probability of something is 0, that means it cannot happen. He's a man. A man cannot give birth. But if I actually see a woman, she has a big belly, and we know that this woman will give birth, because I don't want to be negative minded. If I sit beside the well or more, and our stomach is very big, if I ask and say, Mrs. Juliet, what is the probability that you give birth in this time? She can tell me that the probability is 1, which means that she's very sure it will happen. So when I'm saying that the probability that if you don't know statistics well as a data scientist, you cannot be very good. And I'll tell you why. When you build machine learning algorithms, you need statistics. I'll tell you why you need statistics. To make this thing very simple for you, let me show you. Let me see if I can show you a real project. Let me see if I can show you a real project. Okay, while it is loading currently. So while it is loading, I'm going to continue talking. There's something, okay, this is it. You see, we used to call this thing metrics. We used to call them metrics.
We can't see your screen.
When you build models like this, when you build things like this, what your machine learning model will just show you, it will not give you any English. Don't expect that it tell you English. Say this is it. It'll show you numbers.
Oyinlola, we can't see your screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me share my screen now. Please give me a minute. Let me share. Okay. I believe you can see me now. Okay, so you see, this this is a project, okay? But there's something I want to show you. Just tell you why you need to learn statistics. Sorry.
It's still coming.
When you build models like this,
It's here now.
what your machine learning algorithm will show you, it will not give you the English that you can actually read. No. It will show you numbers like this kind of numbers. You are the one that is meant to know what the machine is saying. And the way to know it is only statistics. That is why there is an issue that happened in the country. There is a country that they deal with, is it fashion or something? The company actually went into loss, and that was the end of the company. That was the end of the company. And what happened? Their machine learning engineers built some algorithms, and the algorithms actually failed. And the reason is because their machine learning engineers, there can be so many reasons. But one of the reasons that I think happen is because they have good understanding of statistics. Because human beings, machine learning engineers, data scientists are meant to be they're meant to be deterministic. I'll tell you what it means to be deterministic. But your machine learning algorithms are meant to be probabilistic. What it means is that if your machine learning tell you that precision here is 0.53, it has given you a probabilistic value. You are the one that will look at it and say, okay, 0.53, what does it mean? If you don't understand statistics, you won't know how to interpret it. And that is why if you start working in a company tomorrow and you start presenting to stakeholders, if you don't know statistics, you cannot even present to stakeholders. Because let me show you some charts here. Let me show you something. Now look at this. Okay, look at this. This chart alone, I'm sure everybody, every data scientist, every machine learning engineer, they want to be able to draw this kind of chart, plot this kind of charts, and then use machine, use Python. You can easily, they want to learn how to write these codes, and then they want to be able to produce this kind of charts. But the question is, how do you now interpret these charts? Because your stakeholders want to know what this thing means. If you don't know statistics, you cannot interpret it and be able to make inference. There was a project I did for a firm. The company is a garment industry, and the problem the company is having is they don't know how to be able to rate the productivity of the workers. They want to be able to know the workers that are productive and the workers that are not productive based on certain errors. So they now want to be able to predict the performance of their workers. They want to know the actual, they actually give their workers what they call target productivity. Now they want to now know the actual productivity of the workers. That kind of project, you don't just build machine learning algorithms. You must know statistics to explain some things to the client. So please, all your learning, learn statistics. We have two aspects of statistics. We have descriptive statistics, we have inferential statistics. All these charts are saying that statistics, where inferential statistics comes in play, is when it comes to all these tests of hypotheses and all of those things. Do you understand? So you need to learn these things. I'm just telling you the things you need to. And after this class, if you would like to reach out or connect, I can always answer your questions. I can always mentor you. I can always help you with your questions. It's a free world. You understand? It's a global village where everybody rises together. So if you want to reach out after this session, it's not a problem. I can always be available. In fact, I love it. When I was enough, people, I had mentors. In fact, when I started, I was so at some point I was so I just learning in the company like that. And then I was trying to do it on my own. I was confused. I tried calling people. I called some CEOs. The phone, they didn't really know what to even explain to me. They didn't really know what to tell me. I myself had to sit down. I used to go and teach private lessons. I used to teach them physics, mathematics, then in Lagos, in some states. In Lagos, to be precise, when I teach them, rising up is not easy. Not everybody rose from where there is money. I did not rise from where there is money. Any money I make from private teaching, when I teach people mathematics, physics, English, and chemistry, any money I make, I go and buy a course. I sit down, I learn, I relearn, I teach, and then I implement. Don't forget these things I said. Learn, relearn, teach, and implement. If you want to write it down, it's very important to carry you through. In your programming field, in your data field, it will carry you through. That's how to become too good. Learn. When you learn, relearn again. Number 2, teach somebody, teach people. Number 4, implement what you are doing. Build project. Don't just put certificate on LinkedIn. That's not how it works. Build projects. But if it is a published project, if it's a project you want to publish, please make sure you have published your project before you actually put it out there, because publishing projects can help tech people to travel abroad. If you're already done with your BSc project, your BSc program, and want to do masters and PhD abroad, one of the best things that will help is make sure you have a published project. We will ask you and have a strong statement of goals. In fact, it's in school. If you have career science, make sure your final year project is in line with science. It will help a lot if you want to do your masters. So moving away from that, let's move on. Let me share my other. Okay. So moving further. So let me explain the concepts of machine learning, deep learning, and neural networks. So under machine learning, we have supervised machine learning. We have unsupervised machine learning. And then we have subsections, the major sections that when you're done, you just start learning machine learning. The thing you will learn is supervised machine learning. What is supervised machine learning? Supervised machine learning, after this session, I can provide a PDF, a content that will summarize all of these concepts and then send to one of the hosts so that people can have it and they can read it later on and get familiarized with it. Supervised machine learning algorithms. The way supervised machine learning works is it's a kind of algorithm where you already have an example of what you want already, and then the machine is just learning that thing. When it learns it, it will not apply what it has learned on another thing and make good prediction. Let me give you a real life example. I don't like to do let me unshare this and share the screen with you so that you see a real life project and understand what I'm talking about. I will use this same project. So looking at this project now, you can see this data. Let me explain this data so you know what I'm talking about. So I can easily understand supervised machine learning. This is a data that has to do with different details about the health condition, about the heart disease of different patients who have been in an hospital. Look at this row 1. Is the age of this particular person is 63. This person is 63 in age. 1 indicates that the person is a male. So this person is a male. This person has typical chest pain. The rest blood pressure is 145. The cholesterol is 233. So there are several details that the doctors have collected about the particular patient, about several patients. But this particular column is telling us that this person has heart disease or not. You can see in this place, it's saying no. What no means here is that this person does not have heart disease. What this place says is that this person that is 67 years of age has asymptotic check pain. Yeah, his blood pressure is 160, cholesterol level is 286, up to this place. So this place is showing that, yes, that means this person has heart disease. And that person is 7 years of age. This person also has heart disease. Another person is 37, 41, don't have heart disease. You see, strictly looking at this data, just the first 5 of this data has told me that elderly people seem to have heart disease compared to younger people. Because this person is 3 years of age, this one is 37 and 41, and it says they don't have heart disease. 67 years of age, different persons, and I'm seeing that they have heart disease. It is statistics that can tell you this. So coming back to what we call supervised machine learning algorithm now. So if I'm training this data, you see, from this age to this THA earlier, we call them what we call the predictors. These are the variables, the data that we put inside our machine learning algorithms. So the algorithm will learn that data. We will know this last one inside it, yes. We will also put it inside it. Don't put this one. We also put some portion of this inside it, okay? But we are using all of this to predict this. So the machine learning is meant to learn this data, come to everything about this data, know the details of who are having it. So, when it has learned this data, you can now go to another hospital. You can go to another hospital. You can go and get different data about people's heart disease. Now bring it to the machine learning that has now been used. Don't forget, the machine learning has learned the pattern of this data. It has been exposed to this particular column. This column is what we call targets or label or dependent variable. There is no class where they will tell you the 3 names that I just mentioned now if you don't know statistics. It only comes from understanding statistics. So it has learned this target, it has learned the predictors, it has known them well. It has been able to make predictions. You can now go and bring new data that the machine learning does not know. You can go to an hospital. get patients that the hospital are not sure whether they have heart disease or not. Bring the data to the machine learning. The machine learning, based on what it has learned from this data, it can tell you whether the person has heart disease or not. This is how supervised machine learning is done. Supervised machine learning works in a way that it will be exposed to something first. It will learn the pattern of that thing. When you now bring new thing entirely, it will not be able to make prediction. That is supervised machine learning algorithm. Now, talking about what we call unsupervised machine learning algorithm, because under machine learning, we have what we call supervised machine learning. We have unsupervised machine learning. And then, before we now move into deep learning and the rest of them. Okay, so moving further, for unsupervised machine learning, in this case now, the data will not be exposed to anything like something it can really learn from like that and then make predictions later. Okay. More times under supervised machine learning, there's something we used to call clustering. There's something we call clustering. And let me give you an instance. I like giving real life scenarios. Okay, because I feel that people get to learn better when you tell them real life scenarios and stories. I'll give you a real life scenario of unsupervised machine learning. If you want to do what we call customer segmentation, for example, there are probably customers of a company, and then the company wants to know which of their customers are actually good customers, which of their customers are actually maybe not really good customers based on certain things, maybe based on their location, based on their salary, based on what you can use for these kind of things is what we call unsupervised machine learning algorithm. Do you understand? Unsupervised machine learning algorithm. Now, before I move further, under machine learning, under supervised machine learning, we have what we call linear regression algorithm. We have also some other algorithms like random forest regression. These are not things that we can go too detail because this class is short. These are classes that takes me time to actually teach people. So I will mention them, explain them. If you are somebody that is very interested in AI, you can reach out later. We can always talk when you have questions, and that's not an issue. So under supervised, we have a linear regression. We have random forest regression. We have what we call decision tree regression. We have distribution regression. We have a lot of them that I cannot mention it now. Okay. And under unsupervised, we have cluster algorithms. The more common one that people usually use is K-means algorithm. Okay. But we have other algorithms that will actually call hierarchical algorithms too. Hierarchical algorithms. Okay. We have a couple of them too. So moving further, I will not dwell too much on that. Now, in an average day-to-day life for a machine learning engineer, what you will do on a machine learning work is that so that you know what you need to learn and what you should not learn. Number one, you are going to have to get data. If you are working in a company, most times they used to have data, they used to have database. But if you are somebody that is not working yet and you want to just work on projects while you are learning, what you will do is you will get data from different places. You can go to Cargo, you can go to UCL Machine Learning Repository. You can, I would like to maybe stop by Taylor so that I can use 30 minutes to address questions, or if there is a particular pattern for it already. So I would like to stick to the time. So if you are someone that is just trying to build portfolios, you are going to have to get data. Maybe you will get the data via Cargo, or there's another thing that we call web scraping anyways. You can scrape data from Twitter, but I think Twitter these days have some restrictions. You can also scrape data. I remember a project I did with somebody. The data we got start to scrape it from football sites because the person's project is on being able to predict the productivity of football players. Not several players, the Premiership players, Spanish players, and all of those things together. So we wanted to be able to predict the performance of a player. You want to know how well a player can perform. That is, before you bring a player into a team, you want to have a machine learning algorithm that you can put in the details of the player, put in how fast the player is, put in some details about the player, and then click on a button on the machine learning application, then it can tell you about the performance of that player. Machine learning can do anything. AI has gone too far. Let me tell you a scenario. Let me give you a real life scenario that happened. There is a game that is called AlphaGo. This is a story. It's a real life story. You can go and browse it. I think it was done by Google DeepMind. Is it DeepMind? I've forgotten, but just go and browse about AlphaGo game. So what happened was this particular company built a game called AlphaGo on an AI system. That is an AI system. This AlphaGo, to me, I think after chess, that is the next most intelligent game that anybody can play. But unfortunately, this game is not actually common in our home part of the country, but it's very common in the Asian countries. So in each country in the Asian part, they have best AlphaGo players. There is this particular guy from, I've forgotten the name of the Asian country, but after this company finished building the AlphaGo game, they invited the best player in that country to come and play against the AI system. The AI system flogged this guy without him winning once. Without him winning just once at all. And what actually happened, how were they able to build it is that they gathered a lot of data about people that can actually play AlphaGo. They built it on the initiative of best players. Actually, there's something we call reinforcement learning. That's the kind of algorithm that was used there. They built it so that when you bring somebody who can play that game, it will learn the tactics of that person as you are playing the game. That's how reinforcement is. Just like a child that is maybe primary 6, and that child is not doing very well in school. If you tell that child that, oh, I'm going to buy you a bicycle next week, that child will do very well. That is how reinforcement learning works. When you do something in front of it. In fact, these days, I'm seeing some things on TikTok. I see football players learning with robots. They are learning with robots because you don't have to have somebody. They are learning with robots. Robots, they are playing football with robots. It's just simple. By the time you do some skills in front of the robots will do the same thing. It will learn and they will even do it better than you. That's the funniest thing. Don't be surprised. If you do bad things in front of the robot, they will also do the same thing. That is why you must be careful. I was not surprised one day when I was watching an AI documentary and an AI robot gave somebody a kick. The person that built it a kick. Because a few days before then, the person actually gave someone a kick in front of the robot. So the robot gave the person a kick also. So they actually learn and be careful of what you actually teach them. So moving away from that, I was talking about the game. So the game, AlphaGo game, beat this guy hands down. When he finished beating this guy, they now wanted to check whether the AI system is so good that it can beat anybody. So what they did was they invited a guy that is called Lucido. Lucido is the best AlphaGo player in the whole world based on record as of then. They invited Lucido to play with this AI system. Lucido, this game the AI system players from different countries. They put their heads together. They know how to play against this AI system. Then they want the AI system wins. Now, I can bet it. They can never win the AI system after that particular time again because after then, the AI system was beating them. Why did I say that? Because Lucido only won the AI system with the collection of different brains of several people. Now, since you've been able to beat the game once using their tactics, the AI system has now learned all the tactics. For you to not beat that AI system now, you need to go and get spiritual initiatives. You cannot beat it again. It has learned from, that means if it has learned from everybody in the world, nobody will be able to beat it again. That's the beauty of AI. So, moving further to deep learning, I'd like to share my experience with you. So I believe you can see my screen right now. Now,
It's still coming.
deep learning is a section of artificial intelligence under neural networks. Under neural networks. I want you to read this first part that says deep learning is a subfield of machine learning which involves the use of artificial neural networks to learn the representations from the data. And it says artificial neural networks are the building blocks of deep learning systems. You remember when I was saying it that there's what we call human intelligence. I said it earlier that human brain are being able to react to situations based on the interconnections of several neurons. And that is what artificial neural networks is based on. Now, there's a sentence here I need to read out to you that says, artificial neural networks are inspired from the working of the brain, as simple as possible. He said, our nervous system contains about 10 billion neurons. When I even said more than 1 million neurons, you see, I was not even overestimating. About 10 billion neurons which are connected with each other in a complex system. It says our brain helps us to recognize objects in the pictures, the speech sounds in our surroundings, and many more things. There is a complex system of neurons which together form a neural network to do such tasks. So the combination of several neurons comes together to do all these tasks. Then it says the typical shape of a single neuron is shown below. So this is the shape of just one neuron in a human being brain. So, but the connection of several types of these neurons is what we now brings about what we call deep learning. So, what's deep learning or neural networks now mimics is the human brain, the connection of networks in our brain. You would ask yourself a question. Why is it that when you have a self-driving car can be on the road, be able to differentiate a human being from a cat? A self-driving car can be able to differentiate an average tree from a human being on the road and not eat a human being. All these things are due to the work of neural networks, okay? They are due to the work of neural networks because there is a way AI systems can identify human beings or pictures or images. We call them pixels. These things are not complex terms. When I say pixels, I'm sure most of us have images on our phone. If you try expanding some images at times, you would notice that they are breaking into squares, shapes of squares. So those things, we used to call them pixels. So AI system uses these pixels to be able to identify that, oh, this is an object, this is this object. And then we can now easily classify that, okay, well, this is an apple. So if you show an AI system the picture of a cat, you can see know that, oh, this is a cat. And these things are very, 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 very usable. There's a project we did. The project we did is on object detection of cancerous cells. Okay. The particular aim of this project is to be able to differentiate cancerous cells from those that are not cancerous cells. And what we had to use is object detection because we had to train the model with an image data. You can see several images and be able to classify that, okay, this is a cancerous cell, this is not a cancerous cell. There's another project we did. There's this project that has to do with somebody who is into the field of cybersecurity. But the person aims to use machine learning to be able to detect what we call ransomware and what we call malwares. You know, most time we used to face cyber attacks. See, machine learning is actually a hot cake. AI is hot cake. So every section of tech is an application of machine learning. There is cybersecurity as a machine learning engineer, you can work as a blockchain tech person because there is blockchain, there is machine learning application of blockchain. There is cybersecurity application of blockchain. And I'll tell you two different projects worked on that. So I worked on this project that has to do with using machine learning to be able to detect ransomwares and malware files on the system. And when the machine learning sees something that is a malware is something that is harmful to systems. It sees it can flag away the malware. But ransomwares are not dangerous to systems. But most times, people misclassify ransomware for malware. So we definitely need a system, AI system, can be able to detect malware and ransomware, classify those ones who are ransomwares, throw those ones who are malwares. We have to use an object detection we need to do this thing with deep learning. This situations where deep learning have to come into place. There's another project that I worked on. It's called cryptojacking. Okay, you know this cryptocurrency side. They are facing, you see, the thing about this tech age is that the rate at which another interest is actually cybersecurity. The reason is because we're having great cyber crimes, especially cryptocurrency website. They are facing a lot of issues. So we have to do a project that can actually predict if there is cryptojacking going on a particular site. And this has to be done with object detection under deep learning. You have to train this thing on an image data to be able to see that, okay, is this going on here? Is this all going on here? If this is cryptojacking, notice it. If it is not, don't notice it. Another thing is, let me tell you, if we leverage AI very well in Nigeria, the rate of crime should be reduced. Crime rates has to be reduced. I will tell you why. You know, if something happens in a scenario and robbers come into a particular environment to steal something, we don't even need to chase them again. You don't even need to come and be chasing them. No. All you need to do is just snap their plate number, or just mark their fingerprints, or just mark their footprints. That's all you need. There are machine learning algorithms that we use, object detection algorithms that you can use to detect the fingerprints, footprints of people, and know that, okay, this and this person are the people responsible. Let me do another project. Well, you know that these things there are things that are easy, there are things that you can actually learn, there are things you can do. There was this one is not even past tense. There is a project going on somewhere. They have issue with yellow pepper, and you want to be able to know they're having agricultural issue, and the agricultural issue is that there's a particular plant in that particular community that is giving them problem, and that's why I said that AI is applicable everywhere. Everywhere. They are having issue of the fact that this particular plant in their community is not growing well. It is dying on time compared to other plants. They now want to use AI to be able to detect what is happening to these plants. Is it that the stem of the plant? Is it their own soil? How can they predict the yield they can expect? All these things are very, very achievable using what we call machine learning. So if you are going into data science, you are going into a field that is really, really interesting. And deep learning, you know, you're not going to definitely start with deep learning. That's the truth. There was somebody reached out and then he said he's a graduate. So he wanted to go into machine learning. So he has even started, and then he was sending his projects, and then I was giving him advice. Okay, this is a good model, this is not a good model. But I noticed that there's something he was doing that I had to advise that you should not do. He started machine learning, and in 1 month, he's entering because I told him that I base in deep learning, NLP, and this and that. He said, okay, he's moving into it now. I said, calm down, bro. Understand this and this very well. And that's what I want you to do. When you're learning these things, you need to calm down. I didn't even start as a data scientist. I will tell you the truth. I started as a data analyst. I keep calm. I know they join people. I don't used to do this concept of everybody is an ML engineer. I'm an ML engineer. No, I spent time as a data analyst. I learned Excel, I learned SQL, I learned Power BI, I learned Python. As a data analyst, I took my time. When I was a data analyst, I don't tell people I'm a data scientist. I tell them I'm a data analyst. As a data analyst, I taught some people, some persons outside, some persons inside the country. I did some work with some persons. You understand? I took my time. I learned it well. That's how I would advise you to start if you really want to understand. Because in an average machine learning project, you will do data analysis parts too. Just know that. And again, I won't lie to you. There are several jobs, but you wouldn't know which one will come to you first. And there are some companies that it's not advisable to even enter that company automatically as a data scientist. You will be lost. An example of such a company is Bloomberg. Bloomberg has a department in their company that is called, what's the name again? I've forgotten. But their data departments, in fact, to them, they are called data analysts. But these data analysts do the work of machine learning engineers. So you see why I say you need to learn data analytics. They build NLP projects. So if I say calm down, you see, I know the reason why I say calm down and learn and know what you're doing very, very well. So I calmed down. When I finished data analysis, next thing I went to data science. I learned it well. I gave time to MongoDB. I gave time to some things, and I gave it enough time. I don't use to. So what I'm saying is, you need to calm down. You need to learn the right way. If you have to pay for quality classes, pay for it. Okay, pay for it. Don't be. There are free things outside there, yes. But if you have to pay. Okay, they will come back to pay you later. If you're starting a company tomorrow, AI will help you. There was a lady that wanted to, okay, before I met her, she's just interested in food, in doing different food for people. She wants to start a restaurant. And what I told her was, young lady, this is what you need to do. I told her to go and get data about several people in several geographical regions. What I did for her was create a time series project that can forecast the future for her. And by so doing, she's doing well now because she was able to analyze her data before starting the business. Without data, any business you are doing cannot really go. If you want to do your business better than anybody, you need to analyze your data. You need to know the essence of data. You need to have a model. There's a section we call operational research, but it's archaic now because machine learning is now outdated. In fact, many statistics lecturer these days. I was speaking with a lecturer in statistics one day, and he told me something when I was with him. He said, this machine learning that you people do is what is keeping us out of job. And he's saying the truth. Because you cannot be doing only statistics. What you're meant to do is be a good data scientist, be a good statistician, be a good programmer, then you're going to be a very, very good individual out there. So I'm going to have to move further and not dwell too much on that. So I'm going to give you guys scenarios as well. So now let's discuss the growing demand for AI professionals in the job market. You know, I have to sigh before I say this. And the reason is because the demand is too high. But the demand is only available for people who come down to learn, people who know it well. Many of my friends, they used to be like, classes and objects in Python is very hard, this and that. So what I did for them one day, there was a day, because the truth is that you can't just tell somebody that, you understand? You know, let me deviate from tech a bit. Somebody is telling you that he has a serious problem, and then he needs to go to maybe an herbalist to do something. And then you, because you know that maybe you're someone that is this and that or this and that. You don't want to advise the person not to go. You understand? You are just giving the person advice and say, don't go. You're not giving the person a solution now. You need to provide a solution to convince people. You can't just tell people, don't do this. You need to give them why shouldn't they do it? What's the solution? You understand? So now, why did I actually say that these days? You see, in this field of AI, there are actually a lot of jobs. So what I did for them, because they were shouting that, Obi, Python is hard. I want to know the fundamentals. I don't want to know classes and objects. I'm using it in deploying models. So I had to create a class for them. And I was only going to teach them, let me say, the fundamental of classes and objects in Python as a programmer. What I did for them is I took Python outside of tech. I brought Python to real life. I told them that see classes as you have several players on the field of play. So you can say you have a class of players. Now, after you have classes, there are several players in that particular field. See each player as an object. That's what we call objects in Python. Now, leave objects, come to what we call properties. Every player has his own specific property and characteristic. And that's why in Python, we have what we call objects, and then we have property for each object. Now, leave that place. So, as I was explaining this thing to them, it became very clear. They now understood how to learn. This is how to learn. You don't learn by just, when you learn, you relate it. Relate it to what is happening. Statistics and data science is everywhere. It happens everywhere. So nothing is happening. Now, coming home, what are the particular, like, is this AI actually in book? You know it is in book. AI is the future. And the reason AI will never go out of the future is because data will always, the females among us can agree to me that they are the ones, you see, the females are the ones producing more data than men. Females, they are producing, in fact, the large amount of spaces on social media, it is females that are producing the data in lots. They are the one making our phone to be so filled up, our videos to be filled up. You know what? They can take pictures in lots. Take a lady to a restaurant, she will carry selfie stick, she will snap herself. Take a lady to a restaurant, they will do video. And those things they are doing, they are very good because they are helping us to have data. They are creating images for us. They'll post it on social media. The more you post, the more we are having a whole lot of data. And because data will always continue to continue, you understand? I said data will always continue to continue. Because of this, AI will always remain to continue. Many companies are leveraging AI now. Many companies, all the companies are leveraging AI. Look at the competition between ChatGPT. Before you know, Google brought their own, and then we're having this co-pilot. Everybody wants to just do something about data. Do you understand? So there is a very big future in artificial intelligence that will never go out. There are many jobs outside there for people who want to go into data analytics, data science, and I will advise you to start applying for jobs now, okay? Don't wait until you are very good before you apply for jobs. I want to drop this with you. There's a website that is called Resume Worthy. If you have been applying for jobs and have been paying people to review your resume for you, to know whether you are qualified. So Resume Worthy helped me actually when I was applying. It helped me. It will help you to rate your CV to know that you apply, because there are some jobs you apply for, you will not even take you right because you have not, because your resume is not even more qualified. Do you understand? So start applying. So there are many careers in it. Now, what are the potential career paths in AI? As I've told you, in AI generally, you can work as a machine learning engineer. Okay, you can work as a data scientist, you can work as a data analyst. But these things cannot be based in several fields. You can be an health data scientist in several domains. There's what we call domain in data science. And I would advise you, when you get into data science, please pick a domain. Pick a domain. I know what I'm saying. Pick a domain. When I say domain, look at what I mean. If all your life you have been working on projects that have to do with football, and let's say restaurant projects, if you want to work in a company like Bloomberg, they will not employ you, because Bloomberg has stated it automatically that they want people who are particular about finance and technology. So imagine tomorrow you want to work in a company like Facebook and you have been working on restaurant projects. If you want to show them your project, the project is not in line with what the company does. So do projects that are in line, pick a domain. When I'm doing some project at times, I invite domain specialists. When I was working on an health project, I invited a domain specialist to come and explain some of the variables in my data. I was like, okay, hello, sir. What is the meaning of CDR? I remember I did a project on dementia status of hospital patients. I invited a doctor. We were having a session online. I asked him, what is the meaning of CDR? What are the levels of that CDR? I asked him, what is ER, this and that? So you need to have domains. Someone like me now, my projects are under finance, health sector, industrial processes. If you bring me any job, I will do. But if I'm building personal projects in my portfolio, there are particular projects I work on, and you have to be very particular about that. Because some companies are particular with projects. They are particular with the kind of projects you have been working with. And it's true because there's what we call time series. You see, if you're working with a company that is a financial company and you don't know time series under machine learning, you cannot cope. You cannot cope because it's a financial section. Okay. Because time series is something that is broad. So please pick a domain on time. Not the domain. Do you want to focus on healthcare? If you have studied medicine, I would advise you, that means you would do very well as somebody who is focused in the medical line. If you are somebody who have probably done accounting, that means you'll be good in the finance aspects. If you are someone like me now, I can do very well when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to finance, when it comes to industrial or any project I have, but I have specific domains. Do you understand? It will really help you a lot. So, moving further, what are the importance of AI skills for future career growth? I think most of these things I've even talked about them.
Sorry, we're having some noise. Is it coming from you, sir?
I can't hear you, please.
I said we're hearing some background noise. And I'm asking whether it's from your area because you are the only one that's the mic is on.
I'm coming now.
Okay, everything is quiet now. Everything is quiet now. You can go ahead.
Please, can you repeat that, sir?
Go ahead, sir. Initially, we were hearing background noise.
All right. So moving further, what are the importance of acquiring AI skills for future career growth? You see, okay, of recent, I was speaking with some of my friends. What is their aim? They want to start a company. Not me now, them. They want to start a company. Why? Because they are now good machine learning engineers. That's a career path. You don't need to wait for any company to employ you. You can be an employer of labor. I'll give you an instance. You can build a forex trade predictor. You can build a model that forex traders can be using to trade and they'll be paying you. You can build a model that people who do cryptocurrency can use in trading. Because most times cryptocurrency markets, you need to be available most times. You definitely need to be on ground as a crypto trader. But these days, people are leveraging on chatbots, machine learning algorithms to be able to predict for them why they are not even there. So you can be an employer of labor if you are into AI. Another thing that you can do with AI is it's going to help your own business. It will help your business. You can build models that will help you know about, maybe you want to go into a business. You can build a model and then use the data, get data about people around you or the particular demographic where your business is going to be. And then you can be able to build a model that can predict for you if this your business will be able to prosper or not prosper in this space. Another thing that another importance of acquiring AI skills is that you are helping your own future. That's the truth. See, I used to tell people, you see, I'm even tempted to speak a local language, but I will not do that. I'll speak English throughout. I used to tell people that wisdom is when you know the future and you can predict the future. You're not walking in line of the future. That is what wisdom is. If you are actually in line of what is happening, you would know that if you acquire AI skills, you are already planning your future down. You are planning your future down. You are securing your tomorrow. In fact, one man said something that there are some particular courses in school that people should not go and study again. AI is now applicable in every area. You cannot be in AI field and be out of job. You can never be out of job. Even if companies are not hiring you, you can create jobs. You can create jobs from your home. You don't have to wait for anybody. You can decide and say, okay, you want to create particular algorithms. In fact, let me even give you another hint. You can build models. You can build machine algorithms and now sell to companies. You can spot issues. Let me give you one real scenario now. During COVID-19, this issue of being sure whether somebody has COVID or not. Imagine building a machine learning algorithm that can actually let you know if somebody has COVID-19 or not. They did something in Uganda during COVID. I was expecting that AI specialists in Nigeria that are allowed. Sometimes, in Nigeria, sometimes they look down on people. They look down on those who are young and think they can't do it. Until when you have one very big name like that, and you have a lot of connections with the big men before they can allow you. So they did something in Uganda that really, really reduced the death rate in Uganda. And I was expecting that this would be done in Nigeria, but I was not happy that I didn't see it. In Uganda, and let me tell you the issue with first. You know that the COVID is a kind of disease that can be contracted by mere contact with the patient, according to what we were told, which I would believe because all channels said it. The statistics shows it. Since COVID is actually a virus that can be contracted based on contacts, and number two, we are saying that based on research, COVID-19 could not last long on metallic objects, but it can last on skin. The next thing to do is to build a robot with metals. Let these robots serve as doctors, nurses, that will be contacting, that will be like mediators, that will be standing between the patients and the doctors. In Uganda was able to build robots that was delivering things to patients who were in centers and then going to deliver messages to the doctors. And as a result, the doctors were not dying. If I thought they were dying, they had a very reduced rate of doctors who were dying. That is another importance of AI. AI is really going to a point where, you see, let me tell you generally, tech is going to a point where if you don't have a tech skill, very soon, in the nearest future, you might be out of job. It's not because it's going to take your job. It was meant to complement your job. You know, one of my managers in a company where I actually did internship with them, she had to learn it. That's why I'm advising everybody. You see, don't listen to the society's principle. Society has a principle of giving people default ways of doing things. Society came and said that by default, this is 6 p.m. And everybody keeps following it, this is 6 p.m. Society told us that we must brush our teeth this number of times a day, and we keep following it. Society said that if you're at this age, you are old, and we keep following it. Society said when it's 4, it's afternoon, we keep following it. Society says you must eat 3 square meals a day, that this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't follow society in every area. There's no being late to what you need to do in life. Anytime you arrive is the right time you need to arrive. And this is the right time you need to arrive. You need to start now. Do you understand? This particular woman, I'm trying to motivate you here to be able to start learning. This woman, I work with her. She's my manager. It's an aviation company, and I was in the main branch. They used to send data from different airlines, many airlines. And then she's always confused on how to analyze this data. She's so stressed because she has about 3 children. Her husband's parents are dead. Her husband does not have any family member. So there's nobody living with her to help her. And she's this kind of person who doesn't like anybody to stay with her to help her. So she has to double work, triple work, say. She closes very late. And she's looking forward to traveling abroad. See, your BSc degree cannot make you to live a good life abroad. Take it or leave it. Your master's degree is not what to make you live a good life abroad. It is your skill. Your skill is what sells abroad. You know, I take people overseas actually. I teach them data science, data analytics, and they confirm these things. Some of them say, Toby, just leave Nigeria, just come. Like they confirm these things. The thing is that you need to have a skill. And this woman, I was convinced. I told her that I will always wait 5 p.m. after every close of work to teach her. I said the passion. If that woman can do it, she can do it because that woman does not have any time. When she gets home, she resumes work before 8. She closes around 6, around 5. Then I teach her when I was there. And then she gets home, I'll ask her, Ma, have you been able to go through this and that? She'll say, no, Toby, you know, this and that. I say, Ma, I understand. But just the little time you have, just keep doing it. She kept on doing it, and it is really helping her. The HR manager of the company in the same vein too was like that. She also wanted to learn. She still started waiting with me 5 p.m. after the close of work. How did that happen? They wanted to build a performance tracker. That's why I said you need to be good. If you're not good, it's either they will disgrace you or they will praise you. They wanted to build a performance tracker in that company. So they had the data. They didn't know how to analyze it. They didn't know what to do. They have used Excel, this and that. They didn't know what to do. So when they brought it to my manager, she could not handle it. They now took it to the main manager. He could not handle it. So they now said, where is that boy that raised statistics? They now called me. When they called me and I looked at it, I told them you can't do this with Excel. I told them I'll do it with SQL and I'll give you tomorrow morning because it is late already. When I brought it to them, the woman said, how much do you collect to teach this? I told her how much I collect. And then actually, for that 1 week or 2 weeks, I was not even collecting money from her for 1 or 2 weeks. But then, what I'm trying to say is that aside all of these things, you can also teach people. You can start a tech school. You can do a lot of things. There are a lot of advantages in teaching AI and starting now. Okay, and when you're starting, make sure you learn the right way. Learn from the right places. There are some places where, you know, one of the worst things is to learn something for a long time and discover that you have been learning the wrong thing. That's why I said make enough research before you go into the field and have a very good mentor. Have very good mentors. There are the reasons why I said if you want to run very fast, have somebody who has run that particular mile you want to run. They can easily tell you where you should pass. Mentorship is very important in this field. I will not lie to you. It's really important. So I don't know if I have to draw the curtain here so that questions can be asked. So
I think it's a very good time for us to take questions. You have spoken so well. Can we put our hands together, everybody, to appreciate?
At this point, I might have to conclude so that I can engage questions because I think this
Okay,
session is...
go ahead. You can conclude.
So, please, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I want to be sure if we can go on with question right now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'll be
But I
waiting for
thought
the
you
question.
said you wanted to conclude, so you can do the conclusion after the questions, Abi?
Okay. I will use the answer to your question to summarize the answer.
All right, thank you very, very much, our distinguished facilitator. I will ask them to clap for you. I don't know whether they have me. People are here in Lagos are clapping for you. They so much enjoyed it. I enjoyed it myself. So thank you very, very much. So this is time for you to ask your questions. You know how we normally do it. So I expected you all to please, if you know you have any question, raise your hand, and then we ask you to unmute, and then you go right ahead and ask a question. Yes, do we have anybody with any question? Okay, I'm seeing somebody from the American Center here. Let's start with American Center here in Lagos. Unmute yourself and go right ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Toby. My question is concerning the data science you talked about. I am currently doing data analytics. So my challenge in data science is the statistics of a thing. That's not my own strength. So I don't know what's actually the difference between data science and data analytics, because currently I'm doing data analytics right now. At least I've gone to some stage right now. So, but that statistic part of data science, I don't want to go there because that's not my strength. I'm not good with what you are talking about in terms of all these health languages and the rest. So what do you, because I'm actually doing data analytics right now. I've gone through Excel, advanced Excel, visualization, Power BI, and then Tableau. So I'm currently on data analytics right now. But the data science part, I'm not good with statistics. So I don't know how. And then please, the platform you talk about, the platform of the job, AI, you gave a website. Please, I want to have it.
Okay, I believe I can answer the question now.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you for the question. I really do appreciate the question. So, you see, first and foremost, you do not need statistics only as a data scientist. You need statistics as a data analyst and as a data scientist. That's the truth. You know, I said something much earlier, and you might have to just get this clearly. Now, this is it. Statistics is divided into two. We have what we call descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. What you have been doing is statistics. You said you have been doing data analytics and you have worked with Excel and this and that. All those charts you have been plotting, it is under what we call descriptive statistics. I believe in your Power BI, you have been using bar charts, you have been using histogram plots, you have been using all these tables, you have been comparing figures and all of those. You must have been trying to come up with some kind of comparison of charts. You must have been going to your Power BI, or you must have been using your Excel, trying to use your VLOOKUPs. You must have been trying to add some things. You must have been coming up with some mean and averages, your medians and all of those things. And you must have been comparing these things and seeing how you explain to people. Those are statistics. That is statistics. Now, going further, there are some areas of statistics that are too far for you. Me, as an example, I've gone far in statistics to an extent of going beyond what we call many areas. Operational research. I know you will not, no data science class will teach you those things. Multivariate analysis. No data class will teach you those things. What data class will teach you is they will teach you some aspect of descriptive statistics that you need to understand. Then they will now go further. They will teach you some areas of test of hypothesis that you need to know. By default, for a good data science class on statistics, at least, I'm expecting them to let you know how to use some test of hypothesis like ANOVA. They should teach you how to use confidence intervals. I would not like to use that. And to everybody that this question will help. If you have said that you like data analytics and you don't really like that statistics, the funniest thing is that you have already started statistics, but you don't even know that statistics. So you need to love it. Do you understand? You need to love it. You need to appreciate it. You need to tell yourself first that you can do it. Statistics is not hard at all. You know, I've told you something that if you want to learn any complex thing, calm down. Start from the fundamentals. Pick it up. I told somebody something. I said, if you take me to Canada, to the best school in the whole world, and you tell us to stay there for 5 months, and they're supposed to, and we have 1,000 students, and we're supposed to have 5 students who are meant to be the best. I told the person, I said, I'll be one of the 5. And the reason is not because of pride. The reason is because I'm going to avoid distractions. I'm going to make inquiries from the last best 5 persons who have made it. I will make inquiries from people who have made it. That's how life is. You don't run alone. Meet people who know statistics. Ask them questions. If you don't know anything, don't leave that stone unturned. If you want to be very good, don't leave any. See me as I did like this. Sorry, I've spoken broken. I'm so sorry. You see, as I am like this, I research a lot. When I learn something and I don't understand it, I go online. I browse it. When I understand it, and I come back to the class and continue. That is how I learn. That is how I learn. So you need to know statistics, but you will not go too deep. You will not go too deep. There are some areas of statistics that we call under a French, there's what we call parametrics and non-parametrics. Nobody will take you too deep into using endorse tests or trying to do. But you need to know some things. So like you need to know. You see, let me give an example. Let's say you know how to work with Excel, right? Now, since you're working with Excel, you might want to be able to use Excel as you show line charts, and since you have line charts, or maybe you did regression in your Excel, you now, because you want to let the person know that okay, this is a working, what you have done is going to work. You now probably printed out your coefficients of variation. If you don't know statistics, but you know Excel, you're not able to do it well. I was having a class with a couple of persons a while ago, and while I was having this class with them, please, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but there's a lot of background noise around you.
All right, okay. I was actually coming from somewhere, so I had to just call out a take-home to make sure that I deliver this. So it will be reduced, but this was me. So I actually had a class. Let me tell you the impact of this thing. I had a class with a couple of persons some time ago, and I was actually invited. That's Data Scientist Network. Data Scientist Network in Nigeria. So that thing is an SQL rather. But then the concept was going to be difficult. And then what I did for them was to take them to Excel and I take them to mathematics, show them what we call truth and false table. So if you don't understand these basic things, the complex things will be difficult. That's what makes people think things are difficult. So I think I've been able to do justice to this question.
Thank you very much. We go straight to Oka in Anambra State. Nnamdi Azikiwe University, please unmute yourself and please face the camera, whoever is doing that, and ask your question directly. Unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead.
I hear you, sir.
Okay. So I have a question. My question is based on, you said in AI there are a lot of job opportunities, right? So my question is, what about the job opportunities that AI is taking away? Now, I'm a digital artist. I draw, I make art online, I make animations, yes. So imagine going to the university for 3 to 4 years to study something, and then you come out and see someone who has no experience in it just do your job in less than 3 seconds with no experience. So you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
And yes, there are some jobs actually that you can do with AI and it will be so effective, probably running calculations and other things. But there are some jobs that actually require human touch because it gives it that value that, okay, a human being is actually doing this thing. not someone somewhere that is just doing it with the help of AI. So my question is, what about us that are slowly losing our job and the value for our jobs because of AI? What is it for us?
There's a lot for you, sir. There's a lot for you. Thank you for the question, sir. You know, I knew that this kind of thing was going to come up, so I actually intentionally said something like this, that I'll say some things about it. You see, the truth is this. You don't compete with something that is meant to help you. Do you understand? You don't see it from a particular angle. So I'll give you an example of a real life scenario that happened. A machine learning engineer did a job for somebody, and the job is this particular company wants to be able to predict the price of mobile phones anyway. So this machine learning engineer now went to AI. They use AI to do everything. They just told ChatGPT. ChatGPT gave them everything. They now copied and pasted. And it's an abroad job. They now sent it to the space supervisor. These companies and these schools abroad, they have applications that actually can detect AI contents. They can detect things that are done by AI system. In fact, me as I'm here like this, if you go and do something from ChatGPT, if you send it to me, I will tell you this from ChatGPT. I know how ChatGPT gives you what you want to give you. Let alone having an application that can actually tell you that this is somebody's work. Do you understand? So now, paying particular attention to your question, artificial intelligence, number one, is not emotional. They cannot think. Do you understand? They cannot take your work. There will be difference between originality and something that AI does. AI system can be biased. There's something we call unbiasedness and biasedness. AI systems can be biased in their predictions at times, and they cannot be emotional. That's why if you go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT a question on, okay, you can tell ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, please write a love letter to my girlfriend. ChatGPT will write a very good love letter that your girlfriend will fall for, that your woman will fall for. But if you go and ask ChatGPT to write something on sex, it will tell you no. If you ask ChatGPT questions about your health conditions, after giving you everything, ChatGPT will now say, but please consult an health professional. That is telling you that even AI system still recognizes the importance of people who are into the field. It can never take your place. Don't even forget, this ChatGPT and AI system, they are built with data of professionals. And I said something while I was having this session. I said, AI systems are probabilistic. We that are building it, we are the one that are deterministic. We are the one that determines how they will do. They don't tell us what to do. So they will never take it. Thank you for the question. Another question.
Next question is coming from Futa. That's how Mena window in America. He said you spoke about choosing a domain, especially as a science, as a data scientist. The question is, how do you choose domain? Is it based on what you studied?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. It's a very nice question. And number one, I've mentioned you choosing a domain. Now, the way to choose a domain depends on, number one, where your interest lies. And number two, you also need to try and see where, there's what we call global markets. There are some particular, global challenges. For example, the governments of many countries have challenges. That could be a domain. You can consider the major global challenges that you are facing. You can treat one of those areas as domains. Number two, if you have studied a course, for example, you studied medicine in school, if one of your domains is in the health sector, you will do very well as somebody who is just a data scientist, because you will understand better, you know what to present, than somebody who's a data scientist. So what you are going to study is another advantage. Another advantage on how to choose a domain is start doing projects in several domains that you want to go into. There are domains like electricity, There's this domains like healthcare, like I've mentioned. There is education aspect of domain. There is finance aspect of domain. So I think I've been able to make justice to that. So you can consider your particular course of study in school. You can also consider the global challenges that are going on in the whole world, challenges that many countries are facing. You can look at those areas. You can also consider the kind of companies you want to work with. If you are interested, like I said, in Bloomberg, you couldn't have been working with health data if you want to work with Bloomberg. They major in finance and technology projects. You want to work in a cryptocurrency company and you have been working on football projects, they will not hire you. Do you understand? So it's really important. So thank you for that question. Another question.
All right, so we move now to Kano. Kano, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good afternoon. We in Kano quite appreciate American Space and Oyinlola for such a training. So our question goes thus. So we have actually discussed several machine learning you can actually add with statistical analysis. So you want to know which among those machine learning that is best suited while analyzing, because one of the examples you cited, we saw you using a Jupyter. So we want to know which one is best suited in analyzing the data. Also, if you can give us other platforms, because you also made mention that we have to be very good. If we want to learn this thing, we have to look for a platform that is very good. So how can you suggest a platform for us that we can use to learn more further to enhance this learning that have actually gave us? Also, my third question is, at what level an AI content is being plagiarized? This is for academic purpose. Thank you.
I actually love those questions, and I will give justice to them. Number one, I can't really tell you that this is the best machine learning to be a work project, but let me quickly say something. Jupyter is just an ID. It's like like when it's like, let's say for example you're going to school, and then you can use several types of notes to write to school. If you like, you can use a long note. If you like, you can use an hard cover. If you like, you can use a small note to write. That is how Jupyter is. So Jupyter is just like a platform you can use to write programming language. Jupyter is not really like machine learning. But I understand your question. To be able to know which machine learning is best, the way we do it is we will have a data. Like that data I show you people on heart disease. I had to train several models, several machine learning models on that data before I was not able to see, okay, of all these machine learning models I used, this is the best. It is that best that I was able to see as a data scientist who understands statistics that, oh, based on these things that this particular model is showing you, statistically, this is the best machine learning model. And then, okay, this is the best model. So the best way to know this thing is when you start building projects, when you start working on something. So it is an iterative process. You will get the data. You will analyze the data. You analyze the data. You expose it to machine learning algorithms. You will use one, you can use two, you can use three, you can use four, you can use many. When you use many of them, you now compare them. Ask, okay, which one is actually the best? Then you pick the best. You now deploy the best into like a web application that can be used for real life application. That is an experience. Then you also ask another question about some platforms that you can use. If you want free learnings, you can check out Free Code Camp. You can use Free Code Camp. Let's say it's a free platform.
Sorry, there's a lot of noise around you. I will find it difficult to hear you. Can you please beg them?
Okay, I just spoke to them now, and they quite understand the way. Thank you. Sorry for that. So if you want free platforms, there is a platform like Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp is a very good platform. If you want to learn for free, there are some free courses on Coursera. There are some free courses on Coursera too, if you can go there. There's a very good machine learning. In fact, to me, if you ask me, the best ML engineer I have ever been under is Andrew Ng. ANGREW. If you go for that master's courses on Coursera, it's very good. Andrew Ng. He's so good that before he teaches you the codes, he will first teach you the statistics and mathematics behind it, and then teach you the code. That's how it goes. So for the paid platforms, you can check this platform, which is called educative.io. 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 You can also try out Udemy. You can also find paid courses on Coursera. Then your last question on the level of AI content, level of plagiarism. There is no particular level of plagiarism for schools. Different schools have different plagiarism levels. It depends. In fact, different departments in different institutions even have their own plagiarism levels. Some persons can tell you it is 5%. It is 5%. Some can tell you it is 6%. To just avoid plagiarism, when you are doing research works, make sure that you don't quote people's work word for word. And for anything you are picking from a research paper, cite it and put your reference according to the standard of your school. Do you understand? Aside that, before you submit your research paper, if you're able to publish your paper, then there are two ways of publishing. You can publish paper for free. You can publish paper by paying. I have never published any paper by paying. And the reason is because of the way I write my papers. If you write your paper very well, you'll be able to publish it for free. Your citations have to be perfect. Your references have to be perfect as well. So I think I've given justice to that question. Is there any other questions? Any other question?
All right. Thank you very much. Finally, we go to Abeokuta. Abeokuta. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much for your presentation, sir. My question is concerning someone starting out in data science. And for my own little knowledge, I believe that data science passes the knowledge of at least someone in data science should have some knowledge about the data analysis, probably deep learning, NLP, and so. So from someone starting out, and I look fields, they are very complex, and it's not that quite. It's not easy to just like cover everything at once. Do you advise someone starting out to like specialize from the beginning? Probably, okay, me, I want to talk about, I want to learn about deep learning. And so, do you encourage someone starting out to specialize like that, or the person should just like have little knowledge about other fields, specializing? So that's just my question.
Okay, thank you very much. I saw somebody's question from Calabar. The person said due to network, he or she did not get my explanation on unsupervised. You can reach out after this call. I'll be able to tell you what to do. So if I'm permitted, I'll drop some of my contact details so that you can reach out if you have questions for mentorship. So coming to the question that was just asked. Number one, I said something. I said we have artificial intelligence. Under artificial intelligence, we have machine learning. Inside machine learning, we have unsupervised. And I said we now have deep learning, NLP, and the likes. There is a pattern before you can. If you want to be in machine learning, it's advisable. You can go and specialize in deep learning and NLP just like that. Not understand it well because there are some fundamentals that they are built upon. The knowledge of deep learning and natural language process, they are built upon all these other models that are supervised and not supervised, majorly supervised. You understand? For example, now, we still use the concept of what we call linear regression and logistic regression in deep learning. So if you come down to learn your supervised algorithm, so what you will do is, if you are going for any class, learn normal supervised algorithm, regression, logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, XGBoost, the ensemble algorithms, then learn your own supervised clustering algorithms. When you are done with those things, then move on to what I call ensemble algorithm, your XGBoost, your light GPM, your DAT boost, your card boost, your stacking, your bagging. Those ones. When you're done with the ensemble algorithm, the next thing is now ask yourself, do you want to specialize in deep learning? Do you want to specialize in NLP or this and that? Left to me, I would still advise you to just have little knowledge about all those things. You can't major in one particular area. You need to know a little about deep learning, a little about this and that. Then you now major in an area. The reason is because when you get outside there, most companies want somebody who is very versatile. Versatility is what companies need these days. They want someone who can do this and do this and do this. You might think they're asking you too much, but the thing is this: if you can't beat somebody, you have to join the person. Okay, if that is what they want, you just have to be versatile. That is what you have to do. So, in summary to your question, you need to go through normal supervised algorithm first, learn your regression, learn your logistic, learn your decision tree, learn your random forest, learn all your classifiers and regressors. When you're done, then move on to this unsupervised, your question algorithm, your k-means algorithm. When you're done with that, then you can move on to either deep learning or your NLP, whatever you want. Maybe it's computer vision as well. Anyone you want to use. That's the best advice that we offer. So
Thank you very
talking about
much.
the contact details. Okay.
Yes, please, you can put it there.
Okay.
We now go straight to Ikeja before we wrap up now. Ikeja, over to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
So you mentioned some things about educative.io and all that. Is it possible we can get it via our mail, or is it possible we get the slides too? So that's all.
Please, can you come with the question again, please?
Okay, you mentioned something about educative.io. Is it possible we can get it via mail, and possibly the slide too, so that it will help us to learn more?
Okay. All right. I'm trying to. Okay, let me. So I'm trying to get the detail. I'll give just this first question.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. In answering that particular question, I've actually got my contact detail, phone number, my WhatsApp number, and my LinkedIn handle. It's right there in the chat. So if you need it, you want to reach out, you can always reach out. Now, in answer to that question, educative.io is a paid platform. It's a paid platform. If you pay on educative.io, you are entitled to learn anything on the company. It's a paid platform. Then I also mentioned some other free platforms, like there are some free courses on Free Code Camp. There are some free courses on Allison.com, Allison, ALLYSCO, and Allison.com. There are also some free courses on Coursera. Okay, there's what we call financial aid. You can apply for Coursera financial aid, and you'll be good. So then talking about slides, all right? So I also said it that if there is a way the host can reach out to you, I'm going to provide slides that I can share with you that you can go to look at and be able to familiarize yourself better. And this will also guide you further after today. So my contact is in the chat. You can always get it.
All right. I think in terms of reaching you, once we have any information, we have everyone who is supposed to join this particular course is supposed to be registered. So we have their contact by respective American spaces. So we'll reach out to them if you have any information you want to share with them. And Olaoluwa's number is 08142695808. And the LinkedIn is also there. So if you want to contact him, you are free to do so. Abeokuta has had his opportunity. Let me just check the chat box. There's another one that talks about, that's from Oka. Can you please differentiate between data analytics and data science using their tools and software? And also, is data analytics a subset of data science or vice versa?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's actually a very nice one. So I used an average company to explain the difference between data analytics and data science. A data analyst, what they do, or what we do is we analyze data, and our end product is just to provide insights. By using the tool, as a data analyst, you're expected to know Microsoft Excel. You're expected to know SQL databases and NoSQL databases. You're expected to know either Power BI or Tableau, and you're expected to know Python as a data analyst. If you have known this before, you are good to go. If you are someone who is very voracious and you want to learn R programming language, that's really good as well. But majorly R is for statistical analysis. I would advise you to learn Python over R. I'm giving you a best professional advice. Python is widely used in every company, and it's very versatile, and there are resources and helps for Python than R. But R is much better for statistical analysis. Just know that. So talking about data science, I told you that in a company, when a data engineer provides data in form of a raw format, it goes to the hand of the data analyst. The data analyst is meant to analyze this data, do some exploratory data analytics with any software that I've mentioned. When you have done that, we provide insights. We look at the data. What can you see from the data? What kind of insights can you bring up from the data? What kind of recommendations can you give the company based on the data? These insights and the analyzed data you have done is what you send to the data scientist. The data scientist picks up the data, now does what we call further analysis. It checks the data, do some assessments, and then the data scientist now builds some machine learning algorithms with the data. When the data scientist picks the machine algorithms and builds it in the data, it now makes certain predictions so that we can forecast into the future. We can make predictions about the future. The predictions that the data scientists have made is what a business analyst will pick up and will be able to apply the predictions and the insights of the data analyst into the business of the company and see how this will affect the company. That is the answer. So as a data scientist, before I forget, as a data scientist, you're expected to know the data analyst tools. Then in addition, you are meant to know Python as a programmer. You are meant to know Python for machine learning. You are meant to know some tools also like Hive and Spark. And lastly, you are meant to know how to use some cloud technologies like Microsoft Azure. You are meant to know, it could be Microsoft Azure, it could be GCP, it could be Amazon. Once you know these things, you are good to go.
Okay, the final question from Mina. It says, can AI be trusted in everything, especially when designing for some critical domains, such as healthcare, criminal defense, etc.? Can AI be 100% trusted? And that's the final question before your summary.
That question is really, really okay. You see, I said something earlier. I said that artificial intelligence system or machine learning algorithms are probabilistic algorithms. What I mean is that they cannot be 100% accurate. In fact, another name in statistics, what we call machine learning models is estimators. If you're expecting an 100% answer, no. AI systems or machine learning models will not give you 100% answer. They are meant to give you an estimated answer. We call it estimates and estimated values and estimated answer. So, but your question seems to be in two formats. And I don't want to miss your context. The first context I can get from your question is, you said, can AI system be trusted 100%, maybe for healthcare stuff? You might mean, can AI systems like all these ChatGPT be asked questions like that? That's one. Number one is that when you ask AI system questions that has to do with health sector, I will advise you, even I told you, ChatGPT will even tell you to go and seek a professional after whatever it has told you. ChatGPT will never recommend a drug for you. Just know that. After this class, go and try it. Ask ChatGPT question. It will not recommend any drug for you. If it recommends drug for you, it will tell you to go and see a doctor. But if you're also talking about the second context of building models that will give you accurate answers, no. Like, it will give you accurate answers, but not something that is 100%. Because I said there are probabilistic. And when we say probability, let me tell you something about when I say probability. The formula for probability in mathematics or statistics is your number of required outcomes or your number of possible outcomes. And your number of required outcomes is always lesser than your possible outcomes. That means if you're calculating probability, your numerator is expected to always be smaller than your denominator, which means that you can never get a probability that is almost one, except that in a certainty. So probability most times is between 0 to 1. Most times it's not 1, except you're talking of certainty. Once you're talking of 1, you are talking of certainty, not probability again. So if I tell you that a model is probabilistic, what it means is that it's telling you that at a high probability of 0.90, this model will work well. If it gives you 0.87, it's saying that at a very high probability of 0.87, which is very close to 1, it's telling you that if you take this model to an health sector, out of 10 patients, this model will work well for it's telling you that at a high probability of 0.89, this model will not fail, which means that out of 10 actual workers in that company, that model should be able to tell you about the actual productivity of about 7 of them. And that's a very good one. That's a very good one. You can use that to infer on the rest. That's why we call what we call inferential statistics. You use little information to infer on a general information. That's what happens. You know, when I want to do population, for example, in Nigeria, you cannot expect that when you want to do population in Nigeria, you cannot expect that they could have actually met every Nigerian when they were counting. No. What they did was they got a sample of Nigerians. But in statistics or data science, you say it must be a representative sample. You cannot expect that they have chosen 100 from 1 million Nigerians and come and infer. No. If you have chosen about maybe 900 from 1,000 persons, that is a sample from that whole population. If you build a model and the model now gives you an answer and gives you a probabilistic value, if you can infer that that model that work well for 900 people will definitely work well for the 10 remaining persons. So models are not meant to be on. In fact, from my experience, any model that you build that give you 100% accuracy is a wrong model. Let me not say entirely wrong, but there is a sign that that model is doing what we call overfitting. That model is overlearning, like the model is overfitting. Do you understand? It's just like a student in a class. If you have 20 students in a class and the lecturer teaches them, before you see a student that will get 100 over 100, it will be very hard. Why? Because most lecturers will not even give you 100. They will even remove 1 for you and give you 99. You understand? So we can relate these things. If your model is giving you 100%, I built one model actually for diabetes prediction to be able to tell whether nutrients in an hospital are having diabetes or not. You know, when I built it first, I noticed that that model gave me something like 90 something, like 99. I was like, what is this? I now discovered that the data they sent to me is not a good data. Because you see, if you are doing data science, be very careful of the data you are using. so that you will not go and use, imagine you are doing a project that has to do with the health conditions of people in Kano. You are now using the data of people in Sokoto. You will make mistake. Your model will not work well for people in Kano. That's why we say you must use a data that is a representative of the population you are dealing with. So they went to give me a data of another location. And I had to tell them that this data, you need to send it back. How did I know? I had to check some descriptive statistics in the data. And I had to go online and research and discover that no, there's no correlation. What I'm seeing online and what my analysis is giving me is not in line. That means something. I have to tell them, I have to now go back. They have to go back and get the right data. So I believe with that, I'm able to address this question.
All right, thank you very, very much. Can we put our hands together for our speaker today? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very, very, very much. We cannot thank you enough, sir, for the time you spent with us. We appreciate every bit of it. And since we have your phone number, a lot of us will be reaching out to you. I noticed that some of us fully participated in this session. We also noticed that some of us were not paying attention. I want to encourage you. What Mr. Oyinlola Solomon taught us today, especially those nuggets of success, which he was rolling out out of experience. I hope we all got what he said. Please, let's take advantage of this opportunity. And very soon we're going to post this on our YouTube page. Make sure you go there and listen again. So once again, we appreciate you, Mr. Oyinlola, and thank you also for coming. We hope to see you again. Please, we'll continue at the same time next week. We encourage everybody to please take those courses. We have actually listed courses they should take for them. And we hope that they will go ahead and take these courses. Come to American Spaces and take advantage of free internet and develop yourself. Enough of this wastage of our time. You have so much opportunities that some of us did not have. And that's why the US government is making this opportunity available to you. So please, let's avail ourselves. So we like to encourage you also to please keep in touch with us. On Thursday at your space there, we're showing movies. Ask about those movies. We are using those movies to celebrate our Women's History Month. You'll be amazed what women went through before they could get their right, especially voting rights. Then on Friday, we're having a conversation with an alum. I want you all to go to our Facebook page as well as our Instagram. And I'm telling you, we have a lot hidden there for you. So to keep a date with us, make sure you check regularly. And Friday, we're discussing unleashing our potential, nurturing girls and women leaders of tomorrow in Nigeria. And we're having Abiodun Esiet, Senior Special Assistant to President on Community Engagement. I hope you're not going to miss this opportunity. So please keep a date with us Thursday afternoon and then Friday morning at 10 a.m. Till then, we hope to see you again. Bye-bye to you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.